Incredible greetings, everyone. Incredible greetings. How are you guys doing? Hello, 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 hello. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everybody. Alrighty. So hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Let me go over here and make sure that I am broadcasting. I'm not going to be long because the class starts in 30 minutes. I've been running around. I was trying to get live earlier, go live earlier, but um, time just did not permit. So I'm doing it now, but class starts in 30 minutes. So I won't be on too long. Let's see. We're going to share this out because StreamYard doesn't allow you to like select the groups anymore. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share this out. Uh-oh. Alrighty. Yeah, this right here, I don't think is gonna work. Me trying to do this from home because these kids do not know what it means when you say you're live or you're in a class. So we'll see how this goes. Copy this and then at everyone post. And let's share again. And one more time. All right, we are all shared out over on the Book of the Face, Facebook. All right, so I'm going to get right into, I don't know why I have this up here as creative talk because that is not what this is. Why didn't this thumbnail change? That's not what's supposed to be up there at all. At all, at all, at all. That's not what's supposed to be up there. Well, it's not supposed to be that either. It's supposed to be a thumbnail, but okay, that's the one that it's supposed to be. All right, so hello, 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 everyone. Incredible greetings. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation paper and ink money could buy. Our sublimation paper allows you to sublimate as at as low as 365 degrees, actually technically lower than that, and as fast as 30 seconds. All right, so that's probably the fastest. We don't recommend going lower than that most times, unless you're going to try and do 400 degrees, but then that's kind of just backward, man. But we've done 350, 325 for about 60 seconds. So it's really, really great and efficient paper. So check that out on our website, shop.hsinc365.com. Our sublimation ink comes in 140 milliliter bottles. So you definitely get more bang for your buck. And it definitely lasts a long time, especially when combined with using our paper, because you'll get amazing colors with our paper just using the plain paper bright white setting. So you don't have to use premium matte, which uses 3 to 4 times the amount of ink. And your ink will just run out so much faster when you're using that setting. So with our paper, because you can print and get great quality print at using using plain paper bright white, your ink lasts longer. We've had some who's had our 140 milliliter bottles, and they didn't have to purchase ink for nearly a year. So definitely check that out. But today we are here to talk. Normally I teach, you guys hear me talk about Silhouette Studio. That is my main program. That's my program of choice. I absolutely love it. This is not sponsored. I'm not affiliated with I'm not affiliated with Silhouette America at all. I am just a very creative person who came across their system. I fell in love with it. I started sharing with others nearly 10 years, 10 years ago nearly 10 years. I've been using it for a little over 10 years now because my niece is 10. And I started using it before she was born. So I've been using it for over 10, been teaching it for nearly 10 years. And it's my program of choice, especially for beginners. There's so many things that you can do. It's a free program, like truly, truly is free to use. And there's so many design features and tools and functions in Silhouette Studio. So that's what I prefer to teach. But there are times, because I do have Photoshop, I actually kind of operate between about 4 different programs for different reasons and different purposes. Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Illustrator, Canva, and technically Figma too, because that's one of the easiest ways for me to create my Canva. My templates for Canva is through this like a web-based program called Figma. So I kind of operate now between 5. So I said 4 because that's my normal ones, but now it's really about 5 since I've incorporated Figma. And they all serve different purposes. So I like to kind of, when it comes to my creative community, my crafters and things of that nature, the things that you just don't know, I like to be that voice, that resource to kind of not say introduce you to things that you don't know, but just to get clarity, to be able to help minimize some of the frustrations, the roadblocks, the blaming of yourself. I've come across so many people who are trying to use Photoshop or even Canva for different things. And because it is a program, hold on, I'm trying to find something on here. Okay. Because it's a program that's not really vector based, it is more so rasterized, and you can do vector things in there, but like how you just can't really create, like you can edit a lot of vector based designs, but creating them from scratch, not the easiest task, which is why, they have a lot of pre-made elements included with your Canva membership. And then when you have the subscription, you get access to even more, like elements and things of that nature. But there's just certain things that you can't do. Same thing with Photoshop. So I like to kind of introduce people to what things can't do, right? Because what I find is they're wanting to do certain projects, and because one person did this one thing in like Photoshop or Canva or whatever, they feel like, oh, well, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. Or they'll treat it like it's like the Holy Grail, it's supposed to supply all of your needs. So then they go to try and do something and it really can't be done. And then you start to blame yourself or feel like you can't get it, you don't understand it, and it's not anything that you're doing. It's just that that software is not ideal for that, which is why there's so many. If one software was suffice for every type of design, the company Adobe would not have so many design platforms. So they have Illustrator, they have Photoshop, they have Muse, they have Lightroom, they have Fresca, they have, like, it's just so many applications that Adobe has, because not like one application does not meet all of your needs. So tonight we kick off our Photoshop Essentials training. It's perfect for beginners. I'm going to come off of here so you can kind of see this on our website. Just want to kind of start off and just say there is a $20 discount right now. It's Gemini season. Hey, the best sign. It's our time to shine. No one does it better. We are twins. Like, we just knew that we were just amazing creatures, because we are twin, like it's twin spirits. It's like having two of us, and then that personality is a twin too. So it's like we're just an infinite breed, us Geminis. So we have to celebrate that. We're gonna have a couple different Gemini season discount codes coming up, but the Photoshop training is the first one, and you get $20 off. So that makes it the same exact cost as our Essential Silhouette Studio training if you're just buying it straight out. So it's $103, $123 if you're using buy now, pay later. And we start tonight at 6:30. So I'm literally going to go straight from this live to our class. And tonight we are going to go over the layout and things of that nature, things that you should really know, like what the true benefits. I'm going to talk a little bit about it here too, of Photoshop, and those little things that you'll go into this program expecting it to be the Holy Grail, because everyone says, get Photoshop, get Photoshop, get Photoshop. But they're just things that you can't do. I know one of the things within the craft community that's really, really popular right now are like those 3D tumbler wraps, and like it's like puffy and stuff like that. Now that is something that you have to have Illustrator to do. That's not done in Photoshop, because it's the inflate, like that's a function in Illustrator. So I had someone recently ask me, how can I do this in Photoshop? And I'm like, hey, you can't. That's on the other platform. So we like to think that, okay, it's Photoshop and it should be able to do everything, but it just really can't. When you want to do offsets are really, really, really popular in the craft community. Silhouette Studio had it. Cricut, from others kind of seeing what Silhouette Studio can do with that offset tool, Cricut eventually added that, because for crafters, it's really, really, really important. Offsetting or outlining is also very, very popular when it comes to Canva. And I see a lot of those who are doing like the cups and things like that. They're putting outlines. I will say some of you guys are outline happy. Hold on one second. I gotta grab my chair. You guys are outline happy, because I've seen like grad stoles and things like that. And the first thing you guys want to do to, I guess, spruce it up, or you're like, hey, what can I do with the edges? Because you can't blur it out, is you add 2, 3, 4 different outlines. And I'm just like, everything doesn't need an outline. You'll ask, hey, what can I do to spruce this up, spice this up, or, make this design better? And it's either add splashes, add splatter, or add an outline. And I'm just like, oh my God, everything doesn't need an outline. But certain ones, like for fonts that have sharp corners to it, You can't accomplish that in Photoshop. They're going to be rounded off when you go to basically like the stroke and you add those. It doesn't have any like sharp edges. And that's just one of the things. There's a few others. I personally find it a little bit harder to navigate text because it just defaults to the top. Like when you're going through fonts, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to bring over my silhouette screen real quick. All right, so if we go and we say, find my font, okay? I'm going to come here, right? And I want to, so I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to fill it in with color, right? Now, my students who have been in my design classes, you guys know that one of the things that I teach is to write or type out your text and to like make duplicates of it and then try out different fonts, right? So anyone that's taken any of my design classes and we work with text, you know that's one of my number one things is make duplicates, change out the font, make it, put it in caps, put it in all lowercase. If you've been in one of my classes, am I telling the truth? So when we go to the text tool, right? So let's say we start off at A and we're going down, we see something like we're really trying to get through like all the alphabet because we don't know all the fonts that we have there. So we're going to go through. And so I was at the top because I recently used that one. I'm here in this section for V. So if I'm going to go up, I'm going to make that one like that. And then I'm going to bring this down. And let's just go up to like, I mean, I'm now in S, right? So if I click on here, I'm back down where it is at like the V, and I can kind of scroll from there, or like whatever the last place I stopped at for a font, it's going to open up on that font name and then show me the other fonts around it, which can make it easier to finish like scrolling through because they're in alphabetical order. Now, when you go into Photoshop, we're going to hit the text tool. We're going to click on it and we're going to go find my font. Okay. Now, did you see how easy it was for me to go in Select Studio, click on it, and it was small. I just click, I have my nodes, I can just increase that, right? To make it where I can see it better. Well, Photoshop, you can't just like click on it and make it bigger, right? As far as like stretching it, you have to do an additional step. You have to go into what's called free transform. And then you're going to get the boxes around it and you can resize it. There we go. Okay. So now when I go to my windows, I'm going to open up my characters. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, my character style, because that's just all the other stuff. So we're going to go. Oh, no, this character. I'm tripping. So we're going to go here, right? And if I click on, well, actually, it's showing it. Okay, hold on. There we go. What did you change to? Now, I did just do an update. Maybe. I should look at it because maybe they have updated it to where it will go to the next one. Oh, hold on. So I stand corrected because it looks like if you, those who take the first one. So with our Photoshop, what we're doing now is basically a refresher. We did this class maybe a year, 2 years ago. So if you were enrolled in the class when we first dropped it like a year or two ago, you don't have to pay anything extra. You just come into the class. You just go onto it. The Zoom links are there. You register for it. You can come to the Zoom, refresh. If you haven't used it in a long time, it's like, okay, I took the class. I have Photoshop. I'm not really using it. I just go back to Old Faithful Silhouette. I just go back to Old Faithful Cricut. Oh, because all the groups are learning Canva. I stopped learning Photoshop. I'm doing Canva, but I'm still paying for Photoshop. And you already paid for this class. Come join us for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to come over here real quick because we are going to have to close out pretty soon. So I just want to show right here. We're going to click, once you click on the name and then click on learn more, the sessions are May 21st, May 23rd, May 28th, June 1st, June 4th, June 6th, June, wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I had to look at how many I had on my, so June 6th, June 11th, June 15th. So there's 8 sessions. Yeah, so 8 sessions for and I think we added some study halls. So it's really going to be 10 because there are study hall sessions that I am including as well. So it's going to end up being about 10 sessions starting tonight and then on the 23rd and then next week. Okay. All right. So let's go back over here, which I will say, I didn't realize that. So if you watch the playback, you'll see where the fonts go all kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay, no, see, I'm not bugging. I'm like, I knew I wasn't crazy. Because I'm like, and then even from properties. So if I go here and I click on it, see, it's at the top. Let me go back over here. Okay. So I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. I'm like, wait, they changed something? So I click on this now and I go to my characters, right? The one that I use is at the top, but I'm like, it doesn't go to where it was on this list. So now I have to scroll completely back through it, or you can, come on now. So if you type it out, it's just going to bring up the fonts that have like those words in it, but not really take you to that particular section. So I go here, it's at the top, but this list, it doesn't move. I do a lot of text-based designs. Like I'm great at text-based designs. That's my preference. When, over like a lot of splatters and splashes and glitters and things like that, like I love a good text-based design. So because that's how I prefer to design, that's what I gravitate towards most, Photoshop makes it a little bit difficult for a designer like me. So what I typically end up doing is designing in Silhouette Studio and getting my layout. And once I know the fonts, the same fonts that are in Photoshop are in Silhouette Studio because it's just loaded. Now, they do have some extra ones that came like with the Adobe stuff, but for the most part, the same exact fonts are there. So I'll just come over and I'll type it out. And then I'll do all of my different text styles, whether I'm going to add a shadow or I'm going to emboss it, things of that nature. Or I'll create my full-on design and then save it as a PDF, open up that PDF in Photoshop, and then, because it's going to come in with a transparent background, and then I can modify it. So I prefer something like Silhouette Studio because I'm a text-based designer. Like that's my go-to, that's my preference. Now, if you are somebody that prefers to design with a lot of like brushes and backgrounds, and you want to change up the color, now don't get me wrong, you can do it in Silhouette Studio, but it's a little bit easier in Photoshop to be able to change your saturations and contrast, and you can change levels, and we're gonna have sessions on that as well. That type of stuff, being able to easily remove things and mask things off, Photoshop is great for that. Having what is truly a template. because I do Silhouette Studio, I don't really have a lot of like design templates because everything becomes static in Silhouette Studio. Um, when you have something that has text to it, you put an offset on it. That offset is a path. It's just a shape at that point. So if you change out the name, the offset doesn't change. But if you're in Photoshop and you type out a name or whatever, and you put different effects on it, if you duplicate it and you change out that name, that new name retains those effects. And I'll show you what I mean. So we have Find My Font, right? I'm going to go to my layers panel, which is here. That's another benefit or advantage of Photoshop over Silhouette Studio. Silhouette Studio is like the last of the design programs to have a really intuitive layers where you can see the actual item. Silhouette Studio does have a layers panel, but it's all just kind of words. And then when you group something together, like you can go in and label things, but the moment you group it together, it changes it to the word like group. And when you ungroup, it just says like polygon, text, whatever. So it loses its like labeling. So that is something they definitely need to work on in the next versions, because it's really the only program that doesn't have a true layers panel where you can see the object that's on that layer. So I'm going to go over here to layers, and I'm going to double click on this one. And I don't know why I keep putting everything on the other side. And so we're going to easily change the color. So without changing the color on the actual font, I can put a color overlay. You can do things like smart colors, and whatever those colors are, it's going to automatically change it. Again, these are great for templates. Some of the like grad templates that you guys have seen, memorial templates, birthday ones, they're great for party favors, because if you're just wanting to like take all of the pinks that's in the design and make it purple, you can do that with like smart colors, and wherever that color is going to change it. Then you take all of those purples, and now you're going to do it for a young man, and you're going to change everything to blue. So you don't have to click on each individual one, but you also have to know how to set up smart colors. Like, it's not like this instant thing. Photoshop gives you access to so many different tools and functions, and they all sound amazing. It's like, oh yeah, I want this. But if you don't know how to do it, because it's not just the little instant thing, you have to set things up a certain way. That smart color has to sit in a certain place on like within your file and stuff like that. Whether or not it's a smart object, or if you wrap, like there's certain rules to how it has to be set up, but it's amazing. Things like color overlay, you're able to change it because it was like a cream color, whatever. I can go into color overlay, and it can be on like normal, or there's different blend modes. We're going to talk. I'm going to teach you about blend modes. So you have color overlay and whatever color you put here. So one of the other, like, so how can I say this? This first session is going to really be about the things that are annoying. I think that is so important, because if you don't know that, hey, this is how it operates, especially coming from a software like Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, I mean, even Canva, when you have to do all of these additional little clicks, it can be very, very frustrating. So you have to just be mindful of those little details that can be a bit annoying. Oh, also, if you have, even if you don't want to pay for Photoshop, there is an online platform called Photopea. I'm about to say Photopea. Photopea. It has a lot of the same properties and same functionalities as Photoshop. I won't necessarily teach from it, but if you're just wanting to learn how to design in a raster-based program, because like I said, they have some of the same things, just a little bit of differences, but the overall principles and concepts, they remain the same. You can take our training and it will help you with learning Photopea, okay? But so let's say we do that. And let's put an outer glow on this. So let's go like that. let's put a stroke on it, and we're going to make that bigger. We're going to take down our opacity on it. And let's even add a drop shadow. I'm literally just adding everything, right? And we're going to make that smaller, fix the spread, adjust the distance, make it a little bit darker. And you can see the changes in real time over in the corner. So I'm just going to hit OK, right? So I'm going to duplicate this. So now let's say I want to change this. Enroll today. Okay. So I changed that and it keeps those properties. Well, I can also change out the font. And it's still going to keep those properties. Now, when you go and change to something that's not the same type of like font, like let's say you started with a really, really thick font, and now you go to something that's really thin, it looks different because it's thin, and that outline can just really overtake the entire thing. So here you barely see it, but now this is thin, so it's covering up a lot of it. So you may have to go back in, right? And then for your stroke, instead of being at 10, we'll have to go ahead and just make that smaller. Okay? So that it's not taking over the entire font. And then I can hit OK. And then let's say like this heart. With Photoshop, like I said, when I was saying, it's easier to transfer properties. So it still has a properties dropper, and it kind of sort of does the same thing, but not quite. So if I go here and I go copy this layer style, and I go to this heart and I go paste layer style, it changes the color of it from black. It literally gives it all of the properties that were, for the word. So it's easier to match things. It's little things like that that makes Photoshop a really, really powerful program. One of the other things is big when it comes to crafters is, how do I blur this off? How do I soften the edges? And in programs like Canva, Silhouette Studio, the first thing someone will say is, get a distressed background. Where do you think those distressed backgrounds come from? If you are utilizing those a lot, you end up making your own. You can create files that can be sold to others. It's a great way to start your digital products side of like your business, and just like a little side hustle, a little pocket change by creating digital files that other crafters and other creators who don't have access to these type of programs that they can use. And there's a way for you to create it where they can use that in Canva. You turn it into a frame and it'll be like distressed. The one thing that you cannot do in Canva, you cannot do in Silhouette Studio, you cannot do in Cricut Design Space, and that is blur or soften edges. So I'm going to go ahead and put a mask on this. I'm going to go to my brush tool. It needs to be on black. Black conceals, white reveals. I'm going to adjust the size. What you say? Ooh. Black conceals. Yes. And we're going to, let's soften up our brush. And so I'm going to soften that up. Now, there is a way to avoid what's happening right here, but you got to kind of join the class to learn how to do that. So little things like this where, okay, you're going to watch a video. They're going to say, put all of these elements on it, and then you have to put a layer mask and you're going to brush it away. Well, what happens when you still have all of this stuff on it? How do you prevent that? Things like that is what you will learn in our training, which, I need to start my Zoom, get on my Zoom because we start in 2 minutes. So again, if you have enrolled and you forgot about the fact that you were enrolled in our essentials, you have not used Photoshop, now is a great time to get back into it. Even if you no longer have Photoshop right now, guess what? You have the class. Join the class. It'll still help you when it comes to learning or figuring out designs for other stuff. And you may consider either getting Photoshop again or utilizing Photopea, and the same concepts and principles will apply. So again, like I said, that's on our website. It's an automatic discount code because it's Gemini season. So it's Gemini season PS. If it doesn't work, just type it in. If for some reason it's not working, just go ahead and type it in Gemini season PS for Photoshop. And you will get $20 off of this 10. It's actually going to end up being 10 session training because I've incorporated study hall sessions into all of our trainings. That way we can focus on the learning, and then you can really come with like those practice assignments and questions and things like that during the study halls. I actually want to say it's 11 sessions, not 10, when you include the study halls. Oh, I'm not logged in. Give me a second. I got to log into Zoom. Got to log into Zoom. I'm joining you tonight. Look forward to seeing you. This isn't one of the lives where I'm doing a lot of like teaching on this one. So hopefully you'll be able to catch one when I am doing a Q&A. Hey, Mom. Oh, thank you for watching us for 2 years. Thank you. Give me a second. All right. So let me make sure that I'm logged into Zoom. Start. Launch meeting. And if you guys have any questions for me, now is a great time to post them. If you have questions about Photoshop, go ahead and put them in the chat. Ooh, let me make sure something. I have to check something real quick. Okay. Yes, I'm about to go into a class. Okay, so there we go. Alrighty. Hey. These kids. Any questions for me in regards to Photoshop before we close out? It is a really, really powerful tool. It's great for anyone in the creative space to learn even just the basics of it, to be able to enhance your in order to be able to enhance your designs. I got all tongue tied and twisted on that one. I meant to open up Photoshop. So I will be showing more like little things when it comes to Photoshop. There's so many things. Like I just like Solar's video, I love my auto recovered. There is something that is in here. Okay, that one's not mine. That was from someone else. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to minimize that. What I want to open up is, where are you? Where are you? This is where I create my obituaries, my thumbnails to make it easy and everything is cohesive. And all I have to do is change out the titles, change out the colors of the titles. Let's see. Where is it? Oh. Is it? I was looking for you, ma'am, because I was trying to figure out where. I didn't see this earlier, but I had to do a topper and I wanted to actually change something and I couldn't find this file. So just so that you know, this right here, hold on. We're going to disable. This is what this really looked like. When there's the frog was in her hand, I recreated her thumb. Let's see, actually, where's the original? There we go. So imagine going from this, I mean, even without the diploma, so you can see his legs in front of her thumb, like in two places, this part of her hand. And then on this one, I hadn't, because I used the other one. So as far as like really erasing it and fixing it, so how we recreated her hand and then like this part, and I still needed to do his foot, but I was just like, by the time I put the diploma over, you couldn't see his foot. And then I'm going to disable or enable the layer mask. And then that's what we were left with. So those are the type of edits that you can do once you learn Photoshop. All right. So there are no questions. Hopefully I will get to see some of you guys in class. As you can hear, my students are already entering the Zoom chat, the Zoom room. So I'm going to go so I can go tend to the students and we can get this Photoshop Essential started. Like I said, there are 8 official like sessions, and then we're going to have study hall sessions in there as well. My goal now is to really have that support system. You get access to the student unions to be able to ask questions, but it's just something about the study hall sessions where it's just an open Q&A form. If you're working on something, that's the time to really get those like individualized questions. It's almost kind of like having a one-on-one session with me because I answer your individual questions when it comes to the study hall and we go through them. All right. So I will see you guys later. Thank you so very much for your time. Hopefully I'll see you, if not today, tomorrow, or at some point while we are live and you can ask questions in real time. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. shop.hsthink365.com. The link is in the description of this video. If you don't have Photoshop, there's also a link if you would like to subscribe or get Photoshop. There is a free trial that you can try out first. Just click on the link in the description. All right, y'all. Peace.